enjoying the night all by yourself. Shame. You look like you would be wonderful company. Welcome to Red Like Wine. What would you like to drink, handsome? Something on the rocks, perhaps, or in the red? Yes, and the red is our specialty. Very popular amongst my fellow vampires, and the more adventurous sort of humans. Blood and wine indeed. Quite the exquisite combination. Ah, interesting choice. Let me fix that up for you. Want anything else to go with that? A free appetizer, maybe? You can pick anything you want. It's on the house tonight. Or perhaps a nice conversation is what you seek. I couldn't help but notice, and forgive me for being presumptuous, that you're our first fully human customer in years. Not many like to adventure this deep into the underworld, so to speak. What brings you here? Why not? All your secrets will be safe with me. I'm a man of many secrets myself. I know how to keep one or two. Alright, I'll let you have this one. My name is Ezra. What's yours? Pretty name for a pretty face. What? I'm being honest, darling. There's nothing for me to gain by lying to you. You are quite easy on the eyes. It's a simple fact. I sincerely disagree. Even if you don't feel like you look your best, I still think you're quite lovely. But I understand. It might feel disingenuous coming from a complete stranger, a bartender no less. I know we have quite the flirtatious reputation, but I'm simply stating the truth. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I believe yours is undeniable. You might not fully believe me, and I respect that, but lying is not a pastime I partake in, darling. Alright, let's change the topic. Tell me, what's bothering you? You looked troubled the moment you walked in. There's something you haven't been able to figure out for a long time. What is it? Oh, you want to know why vampires avoid you? Quite the interesting dilemma you have here. I know the reason, of course. It's nothing as bad as you think. Quite the opposite, in fact. But before I tell you, I'd like to know more about you. Seems like a fair trade to me. I tell you a secret about us vampires, and you tell me why you want to know so desperately. No pomegranate seeds necessary. I promise you won't be stuck down here in the underworld with me. So, will you tell me? I see. Everyone else you know has a vampire friend, a co-worker, or acquaintance. Even lover. But you've never come across one yourself, even though supernatural creatures have already become a part of daily human life. I can see why that would bother you. We vampires, we are very selective when it comes to the company we keep. Now, before you get offended, let me explain. My kind prefers to interact with humans we can perceive as people, equals, and not food. It's a little hard to talk to a four-course meal without taking a bite out of it. Your blood, my darling, it is absolutely intoxicating, like the finest of wines. I can see why lesser vampires would avoid you like the plague. It must be incredibly hard for them to keep their composure when you smell good enough to be devoured on the spot. Don't worry, I mastered my self-control a long time ago. You have nothing to fear, from me at least. We are civilized creatures, darling. We'd rather remove ourselves from the situation if we feel our self-control might be compromised. It's what any decent individual, fanged or not, would do. There are exceptions, of course, but they're no better than vermin. Their very existence leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Never mind that. Does this explanation satiate your curiosity? Or would you like to know more? The reason why your blood is so alluring? Well, not every human is as appetizing as you are, that's for sure. But I can't explain to you the specifics of why someone's blood would be more enticing to us creatures of the night. Nobody really knows. The knowledge has been lost to time. Could be a combination of genetics, supernatural affinity, magic, a million other reasons. But we call those like you moonflowers. It has a nice ring to it, huh? All I know is you certainly hit the jackpot when it comes to being irresistible. But keep in mind that luck is a pendulum. It swings both ways. What goes forward must come back. You've been lucky thus far that you haven't encountered those who are less civilized. That might not always be the case, though. No, it's not a threat, darling. Just a warning. Even the finest of establishments can have their pest problems from time to time. If you catch my meaning. My presence is enough to keep them at bay. But who knows what's lurking out there in the shadows, now that night has settled in fully. This part of the city is known as the Underworld for a reason. Humans rarely venture here on their own, because they know better than to throw themselves into a lion's den. Yes, I'm fully aware there is an accord making sure everyone is nice and cordial, but that doesn't guarantee your safety out here. If everyone followed the laws, there wouldn't be punishments for breaking them. Yes, it's the sad reality of the world. Not all of us are as welcoming and accommodating of humans, unfortunately. I do admire your bravery, but I must question your self-preservation skills. Oh, Oh, is that a pout? My apologies. I didn't mean to imply you couldn't take care of yourself. I simply can't help but be concerned. Is it wrong of me? I've already seen the worst this world has to offer, and I'd very much hate for you to suffer such a terrible fate. It's not something I'd wish on anybody. Never mind that. Do you have a ride back home? I don't really think most human cab services are available here, though you could request Carolyn's cab service. But seeing as you're a resident of the Underworld, I'm not sure you could pay the fee. You don't want to know what happens if you can't pay the fee. You might have walked in just fine, but that was when the sun was still out, darling. When the sun disappears, the pleasant facade goes with it. Nighttime is when the hunters step out of the shadows and seek their prey. And you are just that. You really have no plan at all, huh? Okay, what about this? I'll give you a ride back home, and you tell me even more about yourself in exchange. How does that sound? What can I say? It's not every day I meet such a handsome moonflower. Don't worry about that. I'm the owner, of course. Red like wine is my pride and joy. Yes, I'm also a bartender. What? I'm good at multitasking. I can close up shop for the night. Red like wine will still be here when I come back. It's been around for centuries. One night won't make a difference. Perfect. Let's go, darling. Allow this humble bartender to take you home.